All right, so you ready to begin?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, you know what you're gonna say about your introduction?
No.
Welcome to the official, unofficial Sea of Thieves podcast, a podcast dedicated to Sea of Thieves and sometimes other rare games, but mainly Sea of Thieves. Today, we will talk about the current anniversary events that are happening now, but our main discussion is about potential content that has yet to arrive. Please note that this podcast is recorded on the 2nd of April. We don't really expect the content of this podcast to be dated when it releases on YouTube a few days later, but there's a slight chance some of it might, so keep that in mind while listening to us. And for those who read the title of this podcast, you would have noticed that I'm not accompanied by Old Buccaneer this time. But no worries, he will be back. The way it is looking now, he will be on the podcast once every month, usually in the same week a new update comes out. I might do additional podcasts whenever I feel like it, so sometimes you will get more podcasts in a single month on this channel, like this month. But even though Old Buck is not here, that doesn't mean we can't have any other guests on the channel, and we do.
Hey guys, my name's Uniball. I'm a YouTube content creator on YouTube. You can find me at youtube.com /Uniball Gaming. I've been creating Sea of Thieves videos it'll be 2 years this summer. Started shortly after the first major event with the Megalodons during the curse sales. This is like when I first started. But yeah, I like to make kind of unique videos on YouTube. I just recently came out with a Machinima series, a 5-part series. If you guys want to check it out, I think it's actually pretty cool. But
It
yeah,
is pretty cool.
thank you. But my YouTube channel, I try to make all my videos a little bit unique and different. So if you're interested in that kind of content, come check me out.
All right, that's good. And I can guarantee that it is good content on that channel, so definitely give Uniball a look. All right, we're also broadcasting this podcast live on Mixer, so feel free to type in any questions you would like to ask us. We will discuss those at the end. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave any questions in the comments. We will do our best to answer them as soon as we can. And we might discuss those questions in the next podcast. So feel free to ask anything about Sea of Thieves, about Rare and their other games, or about our channels. So let's begin discussing the anniversary events that are going right now. So to give a bit of context, Rare is celebrating their 2nd year anniversary, and to celebrate that, they're re-releasing some of their content, and it's not really in-game. You can see what you can do, but basically you need to go to the website, click on the event that's going right now, and you'll see daily challenges you can do around their current celebration. So last week, if I say that correctly, last week we had the anniversary of the Hungering Deep, where you basically need to defeat some Megalodons, cash in some Megalodon meat, find the Journal of Merrick, and you got the balloons. And if you defeated, I think, 3 Megalodons during that week, you also got one of the old rewards, the drum. And this week, as of recording, it is the Curse Sales anniversary, where you can earn the skeleton ship sales, the Bone Crusher sales. So that's a basic overview about what the events are. So how do we feel about this?
So I like the fact that people are able to get Merrick's drum. I think that was a really unique piece that a lot of people missed out on, just because a lot of people, I think the majority of the players playing the game now are playing post Hungering Deep. So that's a pretty cool, unique cosmetic that a lot of people missed out on. So I'm glad that they did that. But overall, for the I don't know if this is considering this is their grand scope of this, because obviously we just hit year 2 on Sea of Thieves, and I think it's been pretty lackluster in what we got. Like on the first anniversary update, it was the game completely changed. And I think a lot of people were expecting that. But in regards to these events, I like the fact that people can get certain things that, they just weren't ever going to get. But for older players like us, I think it's, there's no real incentive for us to do it. So I think it's only appealing to a small, or maybe not small, but, it's not appealing to the whole audience of Sea of Thieves. So
Hmm.
there are parts that I like, parts that I don't like. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if they continue it with, Forsaken Shores or some of the other stuff.
Yeah, indeed. Because as of now, we don't really know that since we're recording this the 2nd of April.
Correct.
So right now, looking at the website, and we only have one more day of course sales. We don't really know if Forsaken Shores are coming. We think it is, but let us know in the comments how you already know it. The thing I feel about it, because you mentioned this before, like you can get the drum and you think it's quite nice that people can earn that. I don't really feel that way because it takes away the uniqueness of the earlier players because we were there. Like I don't know, you began playing around the same time as me, right? Since the very start, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's certain rewards we've got. We've got the launch crew sniper rifle, and we got the day one patch, and we were there when the first update released, the Hungering Deep, where we got one of the items we got there was the drum, and now they're giving away the drum for people who weren't there at the beginning. So I feel a bit, neglected.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I support your game since the beginning. And the rewards for that are the unique cosmetics, and now you're giving them away. So I don't really like that, if I'm totally honest. The thing that's surprising to me because they have the black market where they release certain content like the Bone Crusher set, right? So this
Yeah.
new kind of skin. It's the same, only it's green instead of red. I like that way better because still people, you still please the people who want those cosmetics. And for the people who have the original skins, they are still original, and you also get a new skin if you want to. So I don't see why they didn't do the same for the drum. Like make it a different color. So people like us, like the day one players, have two drums we can choose from, and the newer players still have that kind of original drum from the Hungering Deep. So and reskinning doesn't seem all that hard to me,
No.
but I don't know. It's an interesting choice. I don't really like the rewards, but I do like the concept of these events because we had this before. They were testing this a little bit out with the Hunters Hall event. Do you remember that?
No. What exactly are you referring to?
The Hunters Hall event, that was before the
Yeah.
anniversary
Yeah, yeah,
event.
yeah, yeah. I didn't do that.
You didn't do that.
No, I spent the last 6 weeks working on my machinima, so I did like almost nothing except film and edit for 6 weeks.
Oh my God. Yeah, it shows, by the way.
Yeah.
So people who are listening, check those mechanisms out. You will definitely see the hard work that's being put in there. But all right, so for the people who are listening, I'll quickly explain the Hunters Hall event. So basically, I think it was 2 weeks where you had to catch an X amount of splash tails. If you did that, you would get a nice new figurehead, really unique, not a reskin, totally new figurehead. Looks really cool. And those 2 weeks were also separated in single weeks for the balloons. So if you got, I think, trophy fish, I think, in one week, and the other week was just catching the next amount of fish, you would get some doubloons as well. That I feel is way better because you give an incentive for people to get back into fishing, which is a cool mechanic, which I haven't been doing all that much before that. But no, the event gave me an incentive to do so. Plus, you have a brand new reward you can work towards. So it was a really good way to handle this reward system, and the way they're doing it now, I like the balloon rewards. It's all nice, but I don't like the main reward. So if they
Yeah.
just change it a little bit, it would be way better, I think.
No, I agree. And now I now remember the Hunter's Hall because I was like, man, I really want that, that figurehead. But I was like, I just have no time. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I do agree, and I think Rare has taken that into consideration. Back in the Hungering Deep, there was only, I want to say, only two cosmetics. It was the drum and the figurehead.
I think so.
They can
Yeah.
get, and so
No, 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 no. Speaking trumpet.
yeah, yes. Wait, what was that? Oh yes.
You said two. You said drum and the figurehead, but it's drum, speaking trumpet, and the figurehead.
Oh yeah, it was three. Oh okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would have been really pissed if they gave away the figurehead. By the way, I'm pretty pissed they gave away the drum, but if it was a figurehead, I would be even more pissed.
But I think in the cursed sales event, they're only giving away one of the cosmetics, right? So I
Yeah,
think
it's true.
I really like to be honest. One of my favorite figurehead in the game is the Bone Crusher head, the
It's a
Kraken
cool
head.
one. Hmm.
So I'm glad they didn't give that away. But I do think Rare is taking that into consideration. I think a reskin would have been probably the better choice, just to appease existing players and to give existing players an extra item that would give them incentive to complete it. Yeah, I do agree with that. And I do think Rare is trying to find a fine balance. And I think that's why they're only giving away one skin maybe per event that they do. So I don't know. We'll see. But that Huntering Hall, that figurehead, I really wanted that one.
Well, you can sell with me. I'll put it on.
Okay, thanks. I'll just take a bunch of screenshots.
All right. So then I only have one question regarding this topic: is would we like to see more of these events?
I think so, but I think they do need to appeal to existing players for these events.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would like to see them because I mean it's always nice to go back to something. It was that nostalgic feeling, and I mean it would have been cool if they actually redid the Hungering Deep, or at least a certain aspect, where you had to get another crew and go out there and stuff like that.
Summon the Shrouded Ghost.
Yeah.
People would work together for that.
Oh,
I can guarantee
absolutely,
that.
absolutely. But yeah, so I mean I do like the concept of them doing it. I just hope they tweak it some. I don't know who's giving them feedback on this. I'm sure they are getting feedback, but in this time of day, I don't know what their priorities are right now. With everything going on in the world.
Let's just hope they listen to this podcast.
Mike Chapman, Joe Neat, calling you.
I think he has better things to do.
Probably.
All right. So let's get into the main discussion of this podcast, and that is talking about content Rare announced or allured to, but didn't get into the game or is still to make an appearance, but we have no idea when. And no, this is not meant to complain about Rare, like, oh, give us all the content you promised. No. I think all of us are quite happy with the stuff that's already in the game. And the game actually evolved a lot since its very beginning. So there are, however, still promises that are yet to be fulfilled. So an example could be the captaincy update, something they announced very early when CFT just came out. So let's start with this example. Uni, did you remember when they first announced this?
I think, and I believe it was like super early, like almost like right when the game came out. I want to feel. I don't know if you have an exact date or anything like that.
No, I don't. Like, I want to say even before the game came out,
Yeah.
that they said, oh, you will be able to name your ship and customize it. But I'm not really that sure about it. I do know a lot of people complained about it the first weeks, and they were like, oh,
yeah.
I want to name my ship. Can't do it. 2 years later, the same people are still bitching about it.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. So we do have a little bit of new information.
Yep.
Well, I say new information. It's actually quite old because in February this year, there was a dev stream. And the people that were playing it during the stream asked the question, what happened to the idea of being able to name your ship? One of the developers said that Mike Chapman, the guy from New and Interesting Ways, that guy, he said it was always something he wanted to bring into the game, and it's certainly coming, but it's not on the soon to-do list. So it's a feature near and dear to Mike's heart, but it's not going to be released anytime soon. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm glad that it's still on their radar and it's still on their, their roadmap, their unpublished roadmap. So I think that's cool. And yeah, and I can't believe that was actually February. I'm like, that was just the last dev stream. And then it was like back in, I mean, they haven't streamed for like a month or.
Oh well,
that.
I got my information from other websites. I don't watch the dev streams if I'm
Oh,
being
oh, yeah. No,
honest.
I watched it. I watched it. I watched Mike talk about it, and Mike talk. He also talked about and I can't remember it, but there was one other thing that people were asking, and when Mike Chapman was alluding to, naming the ships, he said
Mhm.
he pretty much inferred that that other thing and the naming of the ship will come at the exact same time.
Oh right.
And
What was the other thing?
I can't remember. Dang it.
All right.
Oh.
So what do you think of when you think about captaincy? Because obviously, yeah, naming your ship, captaincy is part. No, naming your ship is part of captaincy. But are there other things you think that go along with that term?
I mean, I would hope customization of the ships of some point, but I know, I mean, that'll just be, I mean, it'd be pretty, well, you custom skins, but how far can they go in customization of the ships?
Yeah.
But
Because
yeah,
people were talking about, I want to place my table there, I want to place a painting here, I want to maybe change where I store my cannonballs so I could have easier access for them.
yeah.
How do you feel about those
Oh,
changes?
that would be awesome.
All
But I
right.
mean, but you have to put limits on it, because everybody's just going to put the cannonball crate right next to cannons. So,
Yeah.
um,
And then every other ship would be the same again.
yeah. But yeah, that would be cool. I think, and then I think one thing that I would like them to see if they did something like that, where we can name ships, and how they've introduced the new Stinger when go through the spyglass and you see a skeleton ship in the distance, and you get that little
Yes,
Stinger.
very sneakily. Was not in the patch notes.
Yeah, maybe they could do something like that, but then that would give people away. The sneakiness would go away. But maybe something like a little, when you roll up to an island, it pops up the island name,
Hmm.
a little cutscene type, thing. Maybe they could do something like that with ships. Let's just maybe it's
Maybe.
like they could do it like, say if somebody they introduce captaincy, and there's an option you can opt into, hey, allow other players to identify you if they look at you as a spyglass from a distance or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I would be just happy just to see my name above the
On
captain's
the ship.
cabin.
Yeah.
That would be good enough for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would your ship's name be?
I have no idea. I that's a
You had
good
two
that's a
years to
good
think about
question.
it.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea.
I'll tell you mine. Mine will be the salty hippo.
Salty hippo or hitbo?
Yes, hippo,
Like
like
H
the
I.
animal.
Okay.
Yes, because my channel is named Captain Blubber, is
Oh
named
yeah,
after a
I
rare
always want.
character,
Okay, yeah. The blubber. Okay.
and his ship in game in Banjo-Kazooie is called the Salty Hippo.
Oh,
So
nice.
there we go.
Yeah, I don't know what I would name one. Probably like one ball.
All right, so listeners, if you see that on the ship, it's UNIBALL, and you should spawn kill him.
That's right.
Uh,
I'll just scuttle.
All right. Anything else you want to discuss about captaincy?
No, I think it would be cool. I don't. I think it's probably is a difficult thing for them to implement into the game. I mean, look back as when they first implemented mermaids. Like they had a lot of like server issues when they did mermaids,
Mm,
and there was one
it's true.
point where they like the following event or something, like they completely removed the mermaids just because they were taking so much memory. So, but it does feel like since they've introduced so many things that their efficiency has gotten better.
Hmm.
So we'll see. I don't know their capabilities. So, but hopefully
Nope, me
at
neither.
minimum naming the ship, that would be awesome. That'd be really cool.
Yes, they promised that. Give it us.
Yeah.
All right, something else they promised. Well, I say promise, but I'm not really sure. I don't know where this started, but in the beginning you hear this phrase a lot, and that phrase was the game starts after you reach Pilot Legend. And back in the day, a lot of people were disappointed because a lot of us really rushed to Pilot Legend because the game was not really bursting with content in the first couple of months.
Correct.
So people thought, oh, let's get Pilot Legend, and then we'll get something like a big bunch of content, like something of a story. But people didn't really get that. The only thing you got as a pirate legend was the Athena voyage, and I think only one cosmetic outfit. There was the purple one. Oh no, and the ghost outfit.
Yeah.
And not even the ship cosmetics were there in the beginning.
No.
So, to be fair, it has changed, but I feel it still hasn't changed enough, like to meet the expectations. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think reaching Pirate Legend and then grinding to Athena's 10 is, you're just jumping into another grind. I think the only way you can look at to say that that statement is actually true and say, the game starts after each Pirate Legend is that the stress of the grind is gone, which then gives you the opportunity to do whatever you want, and some people have taken full advantage of that. A lot of content creators have gone and created amazing things because they have that freedom to,
Yes.
do all this stuff. But in aspects of, game design and just like what is available to us after Pirate Legend, I it's the same, it's
Yeah.
I think
They have added a little stuff like there's more cosmetics now. We have the Athena runs that were
yeah,
introduced last update. We have a ghost ship. We have a Pirate Legend ship, and you need to unlock some accommodations like killing 500 skeleton ships to unlock the cannons, which is really nice.
I
Like I've done it, but
I
it wasn't
know,
mine.
like I want, man, I want to grind it so bad, and then like every time I look, like, cause I don't know, like I've been doing skeleton ships from the beginning, and like I mentioned to you earlier, like me and my buddy, we solo slooped back in Cursed Sails, one of the events, and I swear to God, I mean, this was day 2. We probably had to have been the first sloop to ever do it because people were having so much trouble. But then, of course, a couple days later or a week later, Toe Jam, he had like an hour-long video where he completely soloed it by himself. But anyways, so I feel like I've been fighting a lot of skeleton ships, but I look at my thing, I'm like at 168, and I'm like, how is this possible?
Yeah, no, it takes a while, I can tell you that.
Yeah,
But those are stuff that they have added. But you're right, it still doesn't feel like the game changes all that much.
yeah,
You just get some new cosmetics and a little bit of the grind, the stress of the grind is a little bit gone, disappears a little bit, which is nice. But yeah, not like we were expecting.
correct.
But, and I'm gonna be really fair because I actually looked like a lot of the past interviews. I like to prepare myself a little bit for this podcast. It's not really a broken promise, but it's more the expectation people had, I think, because Mike Chapman in an interview said you will just get more rewarding voyages if you're a pirate legend. You will get new cosmetics and then the unique hideout. And that's exactly what we got, right? So we only interpreted it as something that was going to be more than it was.
Yeah,
Because we got more rewarding voyages, it's one, and it's fucking grind. We got more cosmetics, not a lot, but still, you got different cosmetics. And we get a unique hideout. To be really fair, he said it was going to be your hideout. But that's not really the case. So that's the only thing I think that they were not totally honest with that statement.
you're right. I mean, if we take them word, literally, we got what they said we're gonna get, but people's expectations were, everybody thought that they were gonna get their own pirate legend hideout, like that they can,
Yes.
sail out of a waterfall and store stuff there and
Well, it's a good thing you bring up the waterfall because, yeah, it really looks like you can sail out of the waterfall in the Pirate Legend
yeah,
hideout.
I know.
Spoilers for people who are not Pirate Legend yet. We're gonna do lots of spoilers. I don't care. And you should subscribe to another channel if you don't want to be spoiled. Um, but it's so typical. Like it's a pirate fantasy to have your secret hideout and sail through the waterfall. And the developers know that. And I think in the beta of the game, you wouldn't start at a tavern. You'd started at a hideout behind a waterfall. You started at a bed, and to summon your ship, you would throw a ship in a bottle, and then poof, your ship will appear. You could deck it out, and then you would say through the waterfall into the Sea of Thieves, and that was the original concept for in early production. Do you
So
remember that?
no, I don't. So was that in beta at all?
No, no,
Oh,
no,
they
no.
just talked about it.
This is
Gotcha.
fairly early concept art. Since look, I say concept art, very early in development.
Yeah.
You can still look it up. There's still images of it. I don't know if it's moving images, but I have seen images of it. I've seen images of the early mermaids, of the ship in a bottle, and of the bed I mentioned. And that was the original idea to begin the game like that, and then that didn't work. I'm guessing gameplay-wise it didn't work, and then you started an outpost now, so
Yeah.
so that's how it went. Yeah, but I still think they're gonna do something with the waterfall because it is there, right?
I think
It's
so.
like Chekhov's
Yeah.
gun. Like, why have a waterfall if you're not gonna use it?
Exactly. And I think they are. I mean, because Mike Chapman, he was heavily influenced by the Goonies, and they have
Yep.
that whole thing where the ship in the cave and it sails out at the end. So I do think there are more things to come in the Pirate Legend Tavern, but or the Hideout. But I think that's probably just ways away. But which is crazy though. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been playing this game for 2 years now, which is nuts. And like most games, their lifespan isn't that long, you know.
True.
So how
I'm
long?
still surprised. I think I told you that. I'm still surprised. I'm
Yeah,
still excited for this game. I'm still playing this with a smile. Not always,
yeah,
but most of the time I'm still playing this game with a smile on my face, and that's really unique because I can get into games, and I get really into games, but that lasts well maybe a year, and after that I'm done.
yeah,
This game I'm not done with, not at all. After 2 years, I'm still excited for new content, and like every day, if I see my friends online, I want to play with them and sail the seas.
yeah. Um,
Really unique.
yeah. The only game that ever got me was like World of Warcraft or EverQuest.
Oh yeah,
But other than that, yeah, you're right. I mean, no other game has captured me in a way that where 2 years later, I'm just like, oh my, I'm still playing this game, which is crazy.
yeah, it is crazy.
Which
So
yeah. Oh, sorry. I was want to add that since the game is already 2 years old, I want to know what's the end game that the developers and everybody at Rare has. Like, what do they think? How long this is gonna last? I'm just curious
well,
on
I
that.
think we're gonna defeat Flameheart in the next 5 years. I think that's gonna be the end.
I certainly hope it doesn't take that long.
It's a good question though, and it's a little off topic, but let's discuss it anyways.
Okay.
Because they actually talked with Microsoft about their the long-term plans, and the long-term plans of Microsoft are of course their new console, which will be releasing this Christmas,
Yeah.
around Christmas. I don't know if it's still gonna be that day since we have this virus going around,
Yeah.
which I can't name on YouTube, otherwise I won't get money.
Are you
Uh,
serious?
yeah, I'm serious. You can't name the name of it on YouTube. No, you
Wow.
can't. So let's not do
Okay.
that. Not that I make money. I don't have enough subscribers, but
Yeah.
you never know. Future,
Yeah.
when people are rewatching this podcast 2 or 3 years later. But still, so that console is going to release holidays. But they said that I think the first 2 years they're not going to release new games that are specifically for that hardware. The first set of games in the early years for the new console will still be able to be played on the Xbox One. So for Rare, that's ideal because they can just, continue this game for at least 2 years. I think it was 2 years, could be three, but probably two. Yeah. So they have a dev cycle for at least another 2.5 years, something
Yeah.
about that.
That,
So that's quite nice for them.
yeah, that feels about right. I would think that, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's gonna change, if they're gonna make a Sea of Thieves 2 or they're gonna make a revision or a remaster for the next generation where they maybe can have more stuff in the game at the same time, like naming your ship.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but we'll see. But for now, I think they're happy how Microsoft is handling it, and those, their plans and Microsoft's plans, they go hand in hand for the moment.
Yeah. So that's good.
So that was a little bit off topic. To get back on topic, um, the game starts after you reach Bar Legend. Not really true. I think like I have one of my friends I sail with who says, yeah, it does start after you reach Pirate Legend. Are you crazy? You get like a bunch of pirate accommodations, like the Megalodons start counting. Because if you kill them before your Pirate Legend, they don't count for your accommodations.
Yeah.
But after you reach Pirate Legend, they do count. So he says, well, yeah, it does start. I disagree because I'm like, yeah, that's just a number game. It's
Yeah.
not like yeah,
Just
it's
more
not, it
grinding.
doesn't change, right? If you want to kill Megalodons before Pirate Legend, you can totally do that. It doesn't change anything. Yeah, you get some rewards and some titles, but that's not really that much. The thing I think it does need is a tall tale. Just one tall tale exclusively for Pirate Legends. I think that would go a long ways to giving content for those people.
I think that would be awesome. I think not just one. I think maybe they should do like a continuous storyline. Now that you brought that up,
Hmm.
just so you know, an existing Pirate Legend, they could do it, and then if there's a continuous storyline, they could do the next one, and they could do the next, and then people, striving to get to Pirate Legend, and finally when they get there, they could do, keep going and keep going.
Mm.
No, that sounds like a really awesome idea, actually.
Yeah. No, that does sound good too. I'm not sure if they because those tall tales take a lot of time. So of course I would want that too, but I don't know if it's feasible for them.
Yeah,
But to do that many tall tales, but we'll see. Obviously I hope they will. But
I
yeah,
do
let's see what the
too.
future brings.
Yeah, I love the Tall Tales, by the way.
Well, that's nice to hear. I'm one of the only ones in my crew who really likes them. Like, my other buddies just want to PvP,
Yeah.
which I like too. Don't get me wrong, I like it too.
I like it when I can beat the other person.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how to react to that yet. You're right. All right, so let's discuss the roadmap they released in the early days. Do you still remember that one?
Yeah.
All right, that was even before they did the dev updates. They had this,
Yeah.
I think, this whiteboard, and after that they had I think, a nice image, nice visual
A little map.
representation of,
Yeah.
yeah, a little map. Yeah. Did you watch it again?
Well, yeah. I mean, I completely forgot about the whiteboard one. I remember that one. Oh, I remember
Hmm.
the video, but I just don't
Yeah,
remember what
because
they
of
had on it.
achievements were not working, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna fix that. Don't worry."
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was the whiteboard one. Yeah.
But it was unrealistic because when they first came, it was all about the weekly updates.
Yes. Like
So
every week we're gonna have a build rate adventure. That was the
yeah,
promise.
it's just not feasible from a development
No.
standpoint. And that was obvious because they kept pushing a lot of stuff back and everything, and
Hmm.
then the multiple bugs were getting introduced to the game. Well, I guess that early roadmap they had it all the way to the Forsaken Shores, and then just littered with weekly updates everywhere. If I remember correctly, I don't think there was anything past that.
Yeah, yeah, it was past that. Only it wasn't named.
Oh, okay, okay,
Like no, but that doesn't really tell that much, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
of course they're gonna do big updates after that, but they just weren't named, but they were on the map. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I remember
So.
it. I wish that they had, but I think because I think the lessons that they've learned in the past 2 years of what they've done with this is that they cannot sustain certain promises. Not, I mean, I'm not dogging Rare at all. I'm
Hmm.
just saying that like I work in IT, so I mean I work on projects and then we have development cycles and and then we push things to our production environment like every 2 weeks, yada yada
Hmm.
yada. I get it. So I think I wish they would show us a broad roadmap to see the
Hmm.
future. But I know
Hmm.
that they can't get too detailed because I think just what they're
It's
doing
true.
is pretty tough. So they can't.
Yeah.
It'll be them, not keeping promises, and they don't want to be the guys
Yeah.
that do that. So
Yeah, and they got burned a little bit at that in the beginning
yeah,
of this game, and they don't want to do that again, and that's reasonable. And I say get burned like I didn't fault them, like I was still happy with the game.
yeah.
Um,
Like prime
but a lot
example.
of people were not, and I get why they do it like they do now. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, one prime example is the past, I guess maybe February March update, like that you knew that that Heart of Fire update was supposed to be in the earlier one. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
from a from a I guess just because I'm in IT, you know, I'm like I knew. I mean, that content was supposed to be there, and it because it was
Yeah, it
released
felt like that.
so shortly afterwards, after the the February update, that you knew that
Hmm.
it just wasn't ready in time for the February update, so they pushed it back to March, and
Yep.
then that became the March update, and then they pushed whatever they had scheduled for March to April or
Certainly
whatever.
feels like that.
Yeah,
Yep. But to get back on the roadmap, we're really good at going off topic, by the way.
yeah, no, that's
Uh,
me. You'll learn that from I'm a very tangents all over the place.
it's good. If it's a good segue side way, then of course we'll discuss it. The thing about the roadmap, like one thing that is very nice about it, if you rewatch the video again, if people want to watch that, it's the uh, 17th of April 2018 video. You can rewatch it, but everything they promised in that roadmap game to be, like not the weekly updates, like not the schedule, but the content they promised is already all in the game. So they all kept that promise,
Yeah.
except one. And that's has to do with the Forsaken Shores because when they released the video was before the Hungering Deep, they said, right, you're gonna get a new AI with the Hungering Deep. We didn't know what it was back then, but it was the Megalodon.
Hmm.
And then they also said, when the Forsaken Shores comes out, we have a similar AI threat themed after that world. And I don't know what it is. It just disappeared. They mentioned it once, and we never heard of it again.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people are hoping, crabs, um, but
Yeah.
they made just some been very vague about it, and maybe the AI
Hmm.
threat is the volcanoes,
Maybe. Yeah. I was
because
thinking like that.
the volcanoes do target players
Hmm.
specifically. So just like a megalodon will target a player specifically. So maybe they were referring to the. I don't know. I mean, we'd have
Could
to
be.
ask Rare if that's what they actually
Yeah,
meant.
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Maybe when we get a million subscribers, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. The
Yeah.
AI threat was volcanoes, and they fulfilled all those promises. All right. So let's go to the next topic, and that is the Kraken will evolve over time. They did it in the beginning too, because a lot of people were disappointed by the tentacles. It was just tentacles, and like, where is the head? We want to see the body. If you dive into the water and you clip the water a little bit, you can see it's just floating tentacles.
Yeah.
Not that menacing if you look at it like that. But they said very early on, don't worry about it, that fight's gonna change. Eventually, you will see the entire body, and the Kraken will evolve over time. That kind of happened, to be fair. Like they changed the way the tentacles act. They act a little bit different. They can
Hmm.
slap the ship now, which they couldn't do in the beginning. In the beginning, it was just sucking and wrapping, kind of like my ex. No. Should I cut this out? No, we'll see.
We'll see.
In the beginning, it was in the beginning it was just sucking and wrapping, and now it actually slaps ship too. And I think there's this little tentacle on the side you can shoot if it wraps you.
Yep.
I don't think that was there since the beginning as well. So it changed a little bit, but not like people expected because we wanted to see the face.
Like me personally, I didn't care if I saw the face or not.
All right.
The expectations I had for the Kraken evolving were loot, dropped loot, which they introduced,
Hmm.
and then maybe some more mechanics, and that they introduced. Or I mean, are you asking? Do you think it'll evolve even more, or are you asking my opinion on the current evolution of the Kraken?
Or whatever you want to talk about.
Uh,
Well, you talked about how you feel about it now. So do you think it will evolve even further?
no, I don't think so. I don't think that they'll put a head in there.
All right, but you do know there's concept art of a
Yes.
headed kraken,
Yeah, yeah.
and
And then
it doesn't look like the kraken we know from mythology.
no, it looks like, if all this the skeletons that you see around all over the place, especially Kraken's Fall or the figurehead on the Bone Crusher set. That's it's
Hmm.
gonna look like that. But maybe, I mean,
It's like a fish.
yeah, it almost does look like a fish on the front end, which is
Yeah.
weird. I want to ask the guy who actually made that concept, like, what were you thinking?
Yeah. Oh, I made all these bones, and yeah, we start calling them krakens, and then I was like, oh no, it's tentacles. Oh, I just made up some tentacles then, so people won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But it's weird too because, like, a kraken is like a big octopus, but an octopus doesn't have any bones, like it's all muscle.
Yeah.
And then you have these skeletons of krakens, and they're bones. So what's up with that? You know?
Yeah. Who knows?
Get get it straight.
Yeah.
But it's a rare thing. They're very bad at biological anatomy.
Yeah.
They have some in the past. I don't know if you played Banjo-Kazooie, but there's this fish creature which is in Clanker's Cavern, Clanker, and he's like a metallic shark, but he also has a blowhole, right? So you have a shark with gills and a blowhole.
Oh,
Like, make up your mind. It's either one, right? You can't have both. Like, it doesn't work like that. Is it the fish or is it the mammal? Make up your mind, right?
that was the same
So
guy.
they're not very good at biology there.
Yeah, same dude. He's been there for 30
Yeah,
years.
same dude. Uh, Actually, he's not the same dude, by the way, because the dude that made Clanker is working for Platonic now. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, let's not go on another tangent. The other thing I want to talk about the Kraken is that there's also a lot of lore about this.
Yeah.
And I am hoping you know a little bit about this because I do remember that there was this one big Kraken, like Mama Kraken, the biggest Kraken on the
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves, and that one got chained, right? They got chained to the bottom of the sea somewhere. Like maybe you know more about this.
No, I don't. I mean, I know as much as from like watching Falcor's videos about the lore, and it seemed like that there was a relationship between the Krakens and like the ancients, and has something to do with. I think they're alluding to like teleportation on some of these things, and like,
Oh.
and then like the shores of gold. I think the ancients there. I think there's a lot of reference to the Kraken and to the Old Mother. I don't think it was evil. I think they were. It was actually like, they worshipped it and they lived with it. But then something happened, and then I think all the Krakens turned evil.
And
That's
didn't they make chests out of the Kraken bones or something like that?
maybe so. I'm not too sure.
All right. Well, we are prepared for this podcast, but not on every topic.
Yeah.
Sorry for listeners. But the thing I do want to stress is that there actually is a lot of lore about Kraken, written lore, official lore that's canon. So that makes me think that we're gonna see more of Krakens in the future.
I think so too, but I don't know from a standpoint of maybe like some big world event, something where they may introduce more of the Kraken in that aspect, like say maybe like in the corner of the map there's some big thing where the Kraken does eventually fight the giant crab. We will see the full Kraken in this big scene.
It would be cool.
But
Yeah.
but maybe in like random encounters, I feel it'll probably stay relatively the same.
Yeah, I don't really want it to change to like I'm happy how the Kraken is now.
Yeah, I think
Like it's
perfectly
a
fine.
fun fight. It's annoying. It's meant to be annoying.
Yeah,
It's fun. Like especially if you haven't done it all that often and you fight a Kraken. It's cool. It's a cool fight. Like it should not be changed. I'm happy with it how
Yeah.
it is now.
it's just annoying when like I mean the other day when I went to do some like filming on my thing, every server I jumped on, as soon as I left the dock, I hit a Kraken. I'm like, how is this even possible?
You know you can tell right when it spawns.
Oh yeah, I know. And I think it just
Alright,
because the
okay.
server was dead, like because I was like early in
Yeah.
the morning and it was North American servers, so I think maybe nothing was going on, and then it was not. And plus, I was probably the only
True.
boat on the server. I don't know. It
Yeah.
was just
For people who don't know, if there's no event up, like if there's no skeleton ship cloud or no skull cloud in the air, the Kraken will spawn if you sail in the open seas.
yes, but don't
And
be
I made a video about that. You
yeah.
can check it out on my channel.
But yeah, but just for viewers, if don't be confused. If the Fort of the Dam fort is up, the Kraken
Oh yeah,
can still spawn.
that's a good one. Yeah, that's totally true. All right, so let's go to the next topic, which is the map will get larger because in 2017, February 23, before the game even came out, they showed the map we know today. Except the Devil's Roar wasn't included back then. And they said the map will grow considerably larger, and Ryan Stevenson, the art director, made a hand gesture that it will expand on all sides. As of now, it only expanded to the east and a little bit to the north with the Shores of Gold. So how do we feel about this?
I think they will. So, and I know in the New York Comic Con back in this past fall, like October, November, like Mike Chapman, this question was asked, and he said, it will expand, but like I think in their immediate roadmap, he alluded, he was like, think vertically or think down,
Oh,
so
all right.
so instead of expanding outward, the maps will be expanding downward, and we've seen a little bit of that in the Heart of Fire. I'm hoping that statement wasn't in reference to just the Heart of Fire.
Oh, yay. I'm still thinking two-dimensional. Yay, but you mean under the ground and
Under
on
the
the
ground,
seas.
yeah. So he
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
think down. But I mean, in the end, I do think that they plan on expanding outward. But I think what we're gonna see is just going down.
Yeah.
But
There's some stuff that's in the seas that has not been used yet, like
correct,
runes that
yes.
are still
And
yeah,
there's runes that
interesting.
have transformed, off of
True.
off of the Reaper's hideout. There's and I tried to find it the other day, and for some reason I can't remember exactly where it was. But there's a ruin down in the sea that has been transforming. I know Falcor did a couple of videos on it.
Yeah, I don't watch Falcon.
Yeah.
But I've seen some runes for myself too, and I watch other YouTubers, of course, who do videos about it. It's so fun that they take the effort to look at them every once in a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, things are changing behind the scenes, which they don't announce.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
runes get changed and rocks move underwater, and they don't talk
And
about
they,
it,
and
but
they
it does
add
happen.
and they add a bunch of assets. Like if you can look at old photos of old islands, islands obviously the Reaper's hideout has been changing a lot lately, but
Yeah.
just the basic parts that you wouldn't think have changed a lot. They're adding rocks here, they're adding a plant here, like all over
It's
the
true.
place.
But I think that's more to do to prevent glitches, right?
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah, because skeletons like they need to program a pathway for skeletons to walk, and sometimes they would clip in the environment, and they were like, oh, like how can we prevent that? Oh, let's
Yeah.
make a rock there. So I think that's more to do with that. Not
Yeah.
all of them, but some of them. Yeah.
But also, to go a little bit further on, will the map get larger? I think they also have to. It's challenging for them because the servers are limited to server populations, and if you make the maps too big, you are going to decrease the interactions between players unless they increase server population. So I think they have to consider that.
Yeah, but I think the way they handle it now is it works quite well because you don't go often in Devil's Roar unless you need to be there. And then you have a certain update like the Cruise of Rage, which is, well, primarily all of that takes place in the Roar. And
Yeah.
suddenly all the ships are to be found there. So they always keep the ships together even though they expand their map.
Yeah.
So I think they do a good job with that. Yeah. And hopefully, if they make a new region, it will be something like that. Like you still stay in the main server, unless there's something to do in the other region, and then ships will venture out to that region.
Yeah.
That doesn't always work because a lot of people don't just avoid the roar.
I don't see why.
Still.
It's not that hard.
I know it can be intimidating
And it's
because
so
in the beginning
profitable.
yeah, it is profitable, but in the beginning it was quite hard, and now they made it a little bit
It
easier.
was
So maybe
super
people
hard.
still don't
Yeah.
know that it's easier now, and they still have not a lot of players go on YouTube, right? Like we do that, of course we do that. Well, most players just play the game and they don't follow the updates at all.
Mhm.
And then, our first experience was, we're gonna get hit like every second, so let's not go into the roar. It's a bad time.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I think some people might think like that.
I don't know. I think you're right. I think you are right.
But are you satisfied with roar? Do you think that's a good
I think is I.
expansion to the map?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I love it. I love Devil's Roar. I spent a lot of time in the Devil's Roar. I mean, I primarily soloed my way to Athena's 10 in Devil's Roar.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, just because it was so profitable, I like it, and because nobody went there, so nobody messed with
Hmm.
me except one time. Pace and
Hmm.
Summit came after me in the Devil's Roar one time.
I've seen that video of you.
Yeah,
That's one of your most popular videos, right?
it is, and it was crazy. A lot of people give me crap for it because all I do is just run. And but at the
Yeah,
time,
but it was good enough.
yeah,
I don't know. I like the video.
yeah, at the time, it was not a lot of people because this was back in 2018, like December 2018.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people knew that sloops could outrun galleons, and I knew at that
Uh-huh.
time. And then even Kabobbles makes a comment on there. He's like, "Oh, this guy might actually know what he's doing."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the point of it was to show that, well, obviously because I ran up against Pace and Summit and
Yeah.
Kabobbles, but it was also to show that, hey, man, you don't have to get just completely destroyed by these guys. There's other ways where you could get away
Yeah.
and still, at the end of the day, profit. So
Yeah, you're a little sloopy whoopy, a little swabby, but you can still, outsmart a galleon with really experienced players.
yeah,
I think that's a really good video to show that.
thanks.
Yeah,
And with
I actually watched it. I watched it again this week
oh
because,
really?
yeah, because I'm watching more of your stuff, and then that video popped up again. And it's, oh shit! I watched that video back in the day, and
Yeah,
it was you who made that video, and it
yep,
was like,
that
that was a
was
nice
me.
Revelation.
And what
Just
was
like the other video you did
the
too, like
after
the
the
freak show
freak
one.
show one? Yeah,
Yeah, was also a nice revelation. Like, hey, it was actually Uniball who made this
yeah.
amazing video, and you should check it out, especially if you like machinimas.
And what's crazy about that encounter is there was actually a point I was in an alliance with these two little kids, and I was giving all the loots. I was giving all the loot to these kids, and
Uh-huh.
what happened was like Pace and Summit jumped their boat and they started spawn camping these kids. And we were in party chat, and I told those kids I didn't know who they were at the time. I just knew that they were good because they were double gunning. And I told the kids, I was like, just keep spawning in, get spawn camped, and just let them kill you. I'm going after this galleon because it's only a 2-man galleon, and I'll destroy this 2-man galleon. But at that point, the galleon got out of my range. I was actually going to fight the galleon. I was going to try to kill Kabobbles and Smokey, who were on the galleon at the time. But yeah. Anyways, it was a fun encounter.
That was a good video. So yeah, fuck you to all the dislikes.
Yeah.
Um, let's get back on topic again. Because a lot of people are talking about wanting an Arctic region. So how do you feel about that?
Uh, I don't know. To me, it doesn't fit the theme of pirates. So,
Oh, well, Pirates of the Caribbean did it, right?
did they? They went Arctic?
Yeah, third movie.
Oh, man, it's been so long. Really? I know they went Asian.
Yeah, it was the same movie, I think. Yeah,
Really?
that's yeah. I can Google it. Yeah, yeah. They're fucking freezing their asses off.
I don't remember. I guess, I mean, those movies are probably close. I guess the first Pirates is probably like 2003 or something. I'm close to
I
20
know
years
it's
old.
it's long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still at high school, figuring sex out. So long time ago.
Nice. But yeah, okay. For me personally, though, when I think pirates, I think the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I mean, and me, I think tropical weather. Even so, I mentioned this to you. The last time we played is like I'm half Pacific Islander. I was born out in the Pacific, and there were very few Pacific pirates. So even to me, like there was one pirate called Bully Hayes that Tommy Lee Jones did a movie on. That actually go to one of the islands I was born on. But to me, even though they were considered pirates, like my mindset of what a pirate is still like the Caribbean. You know what I mean? I don't know
Mm,
if that's
yeah,
and just tropics, like tropical regions.
yeah, and Somalia.
Yes. Sure, I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess by definition they would be, but in
The pirate fantasy,
the
yeah.
pirate fantasy, I just don't see an Arctic realm um, that being a part of it. I mean, but who
Mm.
knows? Maybe. I mean, it would be. I guess it would be kind of cool to do something like that, but I just don't see them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think they will. I think a lot of people think they will do because it's, obvious, like you have a fire region, so why
Yeah, yeah,
wouldn't we have an icy region? I do like the image of ships getting stuck into the ice. Like I just like those
oh yeah,
images.
that would be yeah.
And I mean, I've actually read a couple of books about ships that get stuck in the Arctic summer because it doesn't get warm enough for the ice to melt, and they're stuck there for years and years just waiting for a warm
Yeah,
summer
just to
so
get
the ice
out.
will melt. And yeah, I do find those stories really interesting, and just the image of ships that got stuck and the crew having to give up and abandon ship, and the ships are still there stuck in ice forever. I just like that image.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
So
crazy.
I wouldn't mind if they do an Arctic region, but I don't think they will. But I do hope we will get something else, like change of scenery, and it could be going down, could be map expansion. I don't care. Just
Yeah,
give me something else.
I do hope that we do get a change of scenery. 100%. I wish something like that does happen for sure.
All right. So let's delve into the arena now, because the arena released last year and hasn't really changed all that much since that year. But back then they said arena will evolve just as adventure. We have our separate team that's doing arena, and content will be added to it. But we didn't really get that. It's still basically the same as back then. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think okay. So obviously, I don't play arena much.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Just
no, but
remember.
I'll give my opinion on it. No, it's right.
Uh-huh.
It hasn't changed much. Um, I think maybe it got stale for a lot of players. I think a lot of people raced to 50, but I do know a lot of people still play it. Um, but
Hmm.
yeah, I just
I still play it. I really enjoy it. I
I
really enjoy it.
oh really? My question are do you get full lobbies, or are there some times where there's only like two boats?
Well, it really depends. It does take a while to load in. That can take about 10 minutes to get a match going. But once you get rolling, it usually goes quite fast. So only
Okay.
the initial loading time is long. And after that, yeah, it goes. But we're almost always dominating. Like I'm doing a lot of sloop arena now,
Yeah.
with Shadow a lot, and we just dominate. And people just quit because, well, they always keep on losing. Uh, but we will get new ships quite fast. But what we do have is that we only have like one or maybe two crews that are actually, competing, like
Yeah.
actually trying to beat us. And we see a lot of other ships just, fucking about and just going for kills, which is
Fishing.
fine. Is fishing.
That's what I would do in the arena. I
uh,
just fish.
to do tall tale.
Yeah, where's the tall tale in here?
Yeah, so that's a bit. I don't know how they're gonna change that. How we can't really force people to play the game mode.
Yeah.
They are gonna make some changes. They announced this, I think, with one of the last news updates they
Yeah,
did.
I think so.
So it's planned for the new update, which is gonna be 1 or 2 weeks away, depending on when this podcast comes out. And they were talking about the new game mode, which is going to be 15 minutes. There's only one chest. There's no maps anymore. The chest will glow up, and everybody just competes for that one chest and then turns it in, and then the next chest appears. And that's what they told us. I don't think we have seen gameplay of it, but that's how they're going to handle it. So I think yeah, match will be shorter, and I think that's a good thing for the game. But apart from that, I can't really say if it's the right move to do so.
Yeah. I mean,
Because,
if you're asking my opinion with my limited experience in the
hmm
arena, um,
hmm
I do like the changes that they're coming out with. I'm just curious on how they're gonna point everything. Like, what are the point values? Like, what is gonna be the, you know,
Yeah,
how's that gonna work?
it's true. Like I think they. The thing is, and this is going. I don't know the statistics. I don't know the numbers because in the beginning, a lot when it just came out, a lot of people were playing Arena. Like the servers were full every time, and
Yeah.
now it's a bit on decline. So I don't know the exact numbers, but I would really like to see new game modes. Kind of like how Overwatch does it, right? So you get the main mechanics are the same, but the objective is slightly different. So capture one chest, or do a ship royale, or do a King of the Island type of game mode, and just alternate that. I've been thinking about something like that. So like every match is something slightly different to keep it fresh
Yeah. No, I
and keep the
agree.
match short. And also show a reward screen at the end, like how good you did. Like just get those happy hormones
Yeah.
flowing so people keep
Like
playing.
your KD ratio and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, something like that. But keep it positive, right? Because
Yeah.
how Overwatch did it, they Overwatch. I don't know if you played it, but Overwatch never
No.
did a KD screen. They gave a point system. Like you could have one person that's very good at killing, and I'm not, but I am quite good on the cannons. And then I could say, oh, you're a very valuable player because you're really good at the cannons. So I know you get play of the game or player of the game because you scored the next amount of points. So keep it positive, right?
Yeah.
Like again, I said, it doesn't really add that much to the gameplay, but people will get happy and think they accomplished something, and keep on playing. So I would like to see something like that in Arena,
I agree.
but
I
we
think
don't
they're on
know.
the right
I
track.
Yeah, I think we also have to wait what next update brings, and then the next podcast, listeners, next podcast you will get the definitive opinion. All right. So something I just added right now in my notes. I'm gonna surprise you with this.
Okay.
Um, we were talking about this before, and I was like, "Hey, we can discuss this." And this is games on the ships because people were talking about that too. They want to play games with their crew, like dice and stuff like that. Would you like to see something like that?
Yeah, that would be cool. But you could just play blunder bomb games. No,
That's true.
no, that would be cool because there is a lot of players around there that do just play very casually, and to have like a
Hmm.
crew where you can have something where they could all like gather around and do like a little mini game in the game, I think that would be cool. And then
Yeah.
because while you're doing it, there's always that threat that somebody's can still attack you while you're doing that. So I think that would
Yep.
make the game actually even might be more fun, because
Yeah.
there's that extra element of threat. So yeah, I think that would be neat, and I don't think that would
Uh,
be too difficult to implement.
No, and it's a pirate thing to do, right? Dice games.
Yeah, exactly.
And dice are already in the game. They're scattered around the
Yep.
seas and sometimes in the title screens. They showed dice
Oh
before.
yeah,
They have hinted at it. And you can also dice with other crews. Like, why not?
yeah. And then I
Would
was
be
just
a cool
thinking about
mechanic.
gambling. I was like, they should make us gamble, but then that might turn bad. I don't know if they're their thoughts on gambling.
Yeah, it's a bit hot topic lately, gambling in games.
Yeah,
And I think Rare handles things quite well. Of course, they have the Emporium, and of course, the prices are a bit funky, so you keep buying ancient coins, but I don't mind that much. It's just a business mechanic. You still get what you paid for,
yeah,
so I'm not too upset about that. I am upset about the price of the ships, however. Like that's a different story.
yeah.
It's way too much.
It is.
Like I want to give you money, Rare, but
Yeah.
please be a little bit reasonable.
It's great
But
because like
well,
I always want to get the emotes, because I make my YouTube videos and I want to have
mhm,
different emotes for
of
if
course.
different ideas. But like,
Hmm.
so that's why I never buy the ships. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be spending like $50, $60 a month. on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Like this is not.
Yeah. You deserve it, like you give us free content, but yeah,
Yeah.
this needs to be reasonable. It needs to be reasonable.
Yeah.
All right. So something else I did to prepare for this podcast was have a look at the first trailers again
Yeah.
and see if there's stuff in there that has changed or stuff that's in those trailers that still hasn't gotten into the game yet.
Hmm.
So let's begin with the reveal trailer. I don't know if it's the March trailer, March 15, 2018.
I don't remember the
Or that's the
dates.
launch trailer. No, it's the launch trailer.
The
No,
launch
that's the
trailer.
launch trailer. That's,
Okay.
yeah, that's something else. Like the reveal trailer was the one on Cannon Cove.
Is that
And Cannon
2015?
Cove, yes. I'm just gonna assume you've done your research.
Yeah. No, I watch them, and I like watching them because of course, I've seen them in the past, and I like watching those old trailers.
Yeah, it's nostalgic, and you can think, oh, what has changed? So what are your findings? What's the interesting things you found?
Oh, I mean, it's cool. So I think maybe in the first they had some different mechanics. Like the lowering the sails. They had that one guy who's very goofy looking. He's standing straight up. And just kind of like pulling like I don't know. It's like he's pulling a bucket out from the well or something. So I know they obviously changed those mechanics. The game was not like the color palette that they used
Yeah.
was very bland. The game
Was
is
a bit more realistic.
yes, and it's much more saturated now. And obviously the islands have changed through there, and then the ship designs have changed. And I mentioned to you last time we played that the shipwreck galleons were the old models for the ships that the players are going to use with the that cargo hold or that jail cell in the back bottom was what we were going to have, and you can see that in the old trailers.
Yeah. And you said it, and I was thinking, like, why did they change that? But the answer is quite obvious, right? So if the ship gets hit at the front of the ship, then somebody who's in the jail would just decide not to repair that hole.
Yeah.
And could be a real dick about it. And he would be a real dick about it because why would he be in the brig if he wasn't a dick, right?
Exactly.
So, and he wouldn't repair that hole and he would sink because of that motherfucker right there. So that's the reason why the brig is like in the center and like he can
can't
shoot.
do anything.
Like
Yeah.
if an enemy comes, he can still shoot them if he wants, but he can't fuck with your ship.
Exactly.
Which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, and I also kind of like the old. I don't know. Maybe they weren't as realistic, but the old sound effects that they used for like cannon fire and then pistol fire and just the different guns.
Those were better.
Yeah, I feel like they were better.
Yeah, I feel so
liked them a
too.
lot,
Especially the cannon fire.
Yeah.
Like the impact of cannons now too. It's a bit. I still find it weird, and they didn't need to change it too because
I didn't.
let me give a little bit of context for the listeners because in the beginning when a cannon hit a rock it was like and now it's like glass being scattered, right? So it's a bit funky, so it's always weird to me, and they changed. Nobody was asking for that change, and yet
No.
they did it.
Yeah, nobody.
I'm still not happy with it.
Zero.
Yeah, 0. But oh well, they did it. It was probably some intern who thought it was a good idea. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
Anything else in those in that reveal trailer?
No, I mean the ship kind of looks a little bit cooler, like the front end design of it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of neat. And then I liked, I now I can't remember, even though I've been playing the game 2 years. But is there any point where you walk and you like rustle a bush and birds fly out, or are the birds
That's
static?
I'm so happy you bring this up. I'm so happy you bring this up because that's something I want. Because the only wildlife we have now is like the animals, the
Yeah.
pigs and the snakes and chickens, and yeah, there are parrots and there are seagulls, but they're far away and just circling.
Yeah.
But in that trailer, they were reacting to your movement.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think stuff like that adds to the game. It makes the islands feel more alive and bursting with wildlife.
It'll be awesome.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be awesome. And how hard is that to do? Again,
I don't
how
know.
hard is that to do
I don't-
to make into the game? Probably really hard. Like
You could ask
I'm not
you could ask
programmer at
Buck.
all.
Yeah, Buck might know.
But uh, but yeah, just the fact that there would be parrots on the ground, and if you walk slowly, they will just sit there and you can examine them a little bit. But if you run past them or you shoot, they fly up in a flock. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
I
it'd be
think
awesome.
that stuff like that adds a lot to the game.
Yeah, and it could change
How
like the
how
dynamics of like sneaking and stuff. You know, like you have to be really
Indeed,
careful and yeah.
indeed. And like in arena, like you don't play a lot of arena, but a
No.
lot of people try to hide their treasure on the island, but the plants will still move. So if you see a moving plant, and it takes a while before they're static again. If you see a moving plant, you know, all right, he's just walked there, so I must look there for that treasure. And usually, yeah, you find it there.
Yeah.
So I really like how that becomes a game mechanic, like the plant life, how they move.
Yeah.
So why not parrots? How do you
Yeah.
call a flock of parrots, by the way? Do you know that?
How? What's that?
A flock of parrots. How is that called?
Oh, I don't know. A flock of parrots.
It no, it's called a pandemonium
A
or a
panda.
company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. And I like
Tidbit
company.
of the day.
And indeed, because we have the macaw parrot in the game, right?
Hmm.
It's a very social parrot. Like you used to seeing them alone and on the shoulder of pirates, but they live in big
And
groups
huge.
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, fun facts,
Cool.
man.
Fun fact.
All right.
Awesome.
Let's go. Oh, I want to say something more about that first trailer, by the way,
Yeah.
because the pirate wakes up on Cannon Cove, and I think when he opens his eyes, there's a campfire there, and it's half smoldering. So
Yeah.
the idea of campfires were already in the game before it got released. So yeah, we got it way later, but they were thinking about that quite
Yeah,
soon.
but I hate them. Like I hate.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
The smokestack. The smokestack is horrible. It's aesthetically displeasing to my eyeball. Like I get the concept is they want to signal to other people that somebody is like there or was there.
Yeah.
I get that, but it's just it looks like trash. I'm sorry. Sorry, Rare.
All right.
It's ugh. Just get rid of the
I really,
smokestack. Get rid of the smokestack.
I really like it actually. I don't see any problem with it.
I hate it.
It cuts off a little bit weird at the end. I give you that. Like it doesn't really disappear into the air, and you can't see an island away, right? You need to be close before it pops in.
Yeah.
Which is right. So you know somebody's there, but you need to be close anyways to see that. All right. But
Hate it.
I'm
Get rid of
fine
it.
with. All right. Something else they had in that trailer were bags of gold and doubloons.
Yeah.
So those are the same bags you will find in the Ashen chest. The exact same model. Maybe they changed the colors a little bit, but that model was already in the reveal trailer.
Yeah.
So and it's being recently added to the game. So another thing they were planning ahead.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fog too. Fog was also in that reveal trailer.
Yep.
Also added way later.
Amazing. To be honest.
Yeah.
I love the fog in this game. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's cool. It's a cool mechanic. Yeah, like weather in general in this game is quite good. It really shows the power of the Unreal Engine they're using.
Oh yeah.
Something else you said, original galley design. We already discussed that.
Yep.
But in those early trailers, it's actually a 5-person galley, which is
I didn't
quite
realize that.
interesting. Yeah, it's five people there. So originally there's still 4 cannons, but they were thinking of 5 persons. I think it's good that they reduced that. Like a lot of people say, oh, we want man of war and we want bigger ships. I'm like, do you really want that? Do you know how hard it is
Yeah.
to get all your friends together?
But you just
to
that's why
play-
you
to
just do
play
open
there.
crew.
Yes,
The game will
Like,
last for
yeah.
10 minutes before everybody leaves.
but you will have your big ship.
Boom, there you go. But, to be
Yeah.
honest, in the last dev stream, Mike Chapman did say that they were testing different boat sizes. They
Oh,
weren't.
really?
Yes, they didn't say if they were testing like a one-person ship or 5+ person ship, but they did
Hmm.
confirm that they were testing different boat sizes.
All right.
So,
I wouldn't mind having like a different ship, but like the crew sizes, how they are, I'm quite happy with that.
oh, I am too.
Like,
I am too. Yeah.
yeah, that's just good. That's just good. Let's discuss the launch trailer, of March 15th. Not gonna go into depth all that much. I just want to say that in that trailer we can see the killer whale ship set and the hunter ship set,
Hmm.
which again released way later, but was already in the trailer way before.
Yes. And you'll notice that from even from like beta and you'll see a lot of these old assets that were used back in the day that they're just now introducing into the game.
True.
And then the
There's
um
also yeah.
the Athena 10. I don't know if it was in the announcement trailer, but
Mm.
the figurehead for Athena 10 was different colored on
Oh,
one of the
that's true.
ships. Yeah, it was like brownish.
I think it wasn't. I think it wasn't planned to be an Athena 10
Yeah,
figurehead back then. I think, and they were like, "Oh, this is such a cool figurehead. We should keep it as a special reward."
yeah.
So let's go to the progression video of December 14th, 2017. And for the people who are listening, we're after this we're gonna do one more trailer and then we're done with them. In that video, we saw that just cool information again. All the animals were just one color. Like chickens, for example, were all white.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking like how when did the decision came to label them as different colors and values? They could also be found on Outpost, which again makes me wonder what the hell were those animal voyages in the beginning? Like, oh,
Yeah.
get a chicken. Oh, it's next
It's right here.
to here.
It's on my
Get it
foot.
yourself, lazy fuck.
Yeah.
Um, and it also, when you bought a voyage, it also showed you the amount of chapters you were gonna get before buying it.
Oh, that's
And if I'm
huge.
honest, I want that feature back
Yeah. It's
because
so
for
annoying.
people who want to complete accommodations, it would be nice to know in advance if you're gonna have a multiple chapter one or not.
Yep.
The higher level voyages offered more mechanics. Wait, why did I write that? Yeah, or it actually says in my notes, really don't know what Chapman meant by that. So I still don't know. Well, apparently he said in the progression video, higher level voyages offer more mechanics. And to this day, I have no idea what he's talking
I
about.
don't either. I mean, I know skeletons get harder, um, but that's about it that I could think
That's
of.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to see harder voyages?
Yes and no. I mean, I don't know. I hate skeletons. Like, um,
Nice. Yeah, join
so
the club, man.
yes. So when I was filming my machinima, I have an alt character that I created,
Of course.
and
Yep.
everything that we ran across was just so low level, and it was just great killing skeletons. And then also
Hmm.
one of the reasons I like Devil's Roar is because skeletons are a joke, with the geysers
Mm.
and the volcanoes. But yeah, would I like to see harder missions? I think I would like to see more puzzle. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. But harder, like to make you think as a player, not like you know, like a harder fight or anything. I think
Yeah, like make it different a nice way, not just upscaling the damage resistance.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
make some of the puzzles a little bit harder, or something like that. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know really, but yeah, maybe it would be nice to see some more different let's keep it at that, like more variety in the voyages
Yeah, for
we
sure.
are doing right now. Because the in that same video, Mike Chapman again said that the keys the gold hoarders have are called skeleton keys.
Yep.
And he said it in the trailer, but now they don't refer to it anymore. We still have skeleton keys in the game, but they are associated with tall tales. But apparently, in the very beginning, gold hoarders had skeleton keys. So, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why
fun
he.
fact.
Yeah, I don't know why he called them that. I remember him saying that, and I asked myself the same question, like, why is he calling them skeleton keys? because now the lore or whatever, the gold hoarders are the only ones that could open the chest. That's why we can never,
Hmm.
that's why we had to turn it into to them just to get the money
Yep.
from it.
Hmm.
But yeah, that did catch my eye too when he said that.
All right. So again, something we don't know. And please, if you guys are listening to this podcast, and if you do know the answer, let us know in the comments because we really want to know. Skellies were also called Forsaken skeletons, and I'm not talking about the Ashen skeletons. I'm just talking about regular skeletons were addressed as Forsaken skeletons, and I don't know why. Are they forsaken? Who forsook them? I don't know.
I I think maybe just because they turned into skeletons. The original thing. I think didn't Flameheart drink something or whenever he got cursed, like his whole crew got cursed into skeletons, so they were forsaken to that curse or something. Maybe that has.
Yeah, but are all skeletons part of Flameheart's crew?
I don't know.
No, they're
There's
not, I think.
Yeah, I don't think they are, but I don't know. Maybe in their lore that they're alluding that they were or are. I don't know.
Again, let us know in the comments because we don't know shit. Uh, Pigs were called wild pigs. Another fun fact. Gold rewards were given after completing the voyage. So when you bought a voyage in the fairly early stage of the game, you knew what your reward was before you even started it, but you will only get it on completion. So not when you turn in those chests, but when you finish the entire voyage, which is a stupid game mechanic, and I'm happy they didn't use that. All right, so let's go into the final trailer, which is the E3 2017 gameplay trailer. In that trailer, I think it begins with a shipwreck, then you go do a riddle on Devil's Ridge, and then there's some PvP battle going on. So to refresh people what the gameplay trailer was. Funny thing about the trailer is the Ancient Skelly sound effect, the gold, the gold coins. That sound effect was already there. But again, it's they use that sound effect way later when they introduced the ancient skellies.
Yeah.
Pirates also screamed when being shot out of the cannon, which I think is really nice. I would like to see that deck, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
That would be cool. That'd be
Can
hilarious.
you imagine just being fighting another team and
No, yeah, you just imagine like you're fighting like a team that's like really good at PvP and they're really good at boarding, and so they're always constantly launching themselves and they're really serious and like, oh, I'm a badass, and then you have this like whiny scream every time they shoot out of a cannon. That'd be awesome.
Indeed, indeed. And there's also some interesting fact because I really paused the trailer a little bit to have a look at the map, and
Yes.
the islands are a bit different.
Yeah, that's
So
I wanted
Devil's,
to mention that. Yeah.
yeah, then go for it. You can talk about
Yeah,
that.
it's where Devil's Ridge in the trailer is where Ancient Spire is
Mm-hmm.
now, and then yeah. So I know they played a lot with moving bits and pieces of the map around to get it exactly how they wanted it. And then was there an island in the trailer that is not in the game?
Yes,
What's it? Is something
there
an
is.
isle or something?
Lost Silver Isle.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that name doesn't appear in the game, but it was renamed in the Old Boot Fort because if you zoom in on that island, it looks like Old Boot Fort.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
what-
weird because they made an isle into a fort, right?
Yeah.
So even though it looks the same, that was originally not planned to be a fort, but I don't know.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, that's where Old Boot Fort is, but it's like some island. But I didn't zoom in on it just to see if it was the same.
I think it turned into Old Boot Fort, and it was also Old Sands Atoll, which is on the same place in that trailer, only the shape of the island is different. So it looked a bit like Paradise Spring, which is also in the Ancient Isle. But it is not Paradise Spring, by the way, but it looks
Yeah, it looks
to have the shape like that island.
Gotcha.
So yeah, quite interesting as well. I love that island, by the way, Old Souls Atoll. I think it's a small one, but it's a cool small one, I think.
Yeah.
The ammo chest was next to the cannonball crate.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think it's right. They changed that. I think they had the reasons for that. But the most interesting thing is pirates carry 3 weapons at the same time
Yeah,
instead of 2.
but I think, or did they carry all of them?
Cool, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm guessing all of them, but they didn't show that in the trailer.
correct. Yeah,
But there's some PvP going around in that trailer, and yeah, that pirate that is fighting has multiple weapons at the same time.
yeah. And apparently they don't know the run button. In the if anybody watches the trailer, you'll know what I mean.
It's true. No, you're right, but I think they did it for obvious reasons to
Yeah, yeah,
showcase the islands and stuff like that. All right, so that's our talk about all the past trailers and how things have changed over the months. So let's have a look at other promises they did kept and delivered on. So if this podcast make you feel like Rare can't keep promises all, you are dead wrong. People just tend to complain, especially on the internet. But in reality, it's not that bad at all. I did a lot of reading of the old comments on those old trailer videos, and some interesting things I found, like what do people want? They want fogs, they want harpoon, they want story quests, they want megalodons, they want NPC ships, they want the ability to change your pirate, they want new instruments, they want new regions, and you know what? All that stuff is now already in the game. Um, and still, if you go to the forums, you read a lot of complaints about rehashed and reused contents. And yes, even I like to joke about it in my reviews, but I don't think it's that bad at all. The amount of stuff we get for free, might I add, each month is actually really good. And slowly they are adding in the stuff we want, like the Pirate Appearance Potion. People bitched about it on the forums, and now it's finally in the game, and you don't really read any comments about it anymore, or people thanking Rare. They don't really do that. Rewatching those old trailers and interviews have been really interesting as a whole, and I do get why people felt disappointed when the game came out, because they were more talking about the potential the game could have and how it could grow, and not how it would be at launch. And that vision they had, I feel, has been realized in the present. And the most beautiful part about that is that we're still not done yet. We still are getting more updates.
oh yeah.
So how do you feel with my little statement there?
Oh no, I think you're absolutely right. I think a lot of stuff that players were asking for did make it into the game, and I do see why people were turned off at the game at launch. There was a lot of bad reviews on Sea of Thieves, but there's also a lot of good reviews, and
Yes.
but yeah, Rare has delivered on pretty much everything. The only thing that I wish that they delivered more was more shanties. We
I was thinking like a big game mechanic, but no, shanties.
shanties. They so we got we got one shanty from the Hungering Deep, and that was it.
Yes.
I mean, obviously we only got one instrument, but I think the set of instruments that they have. No, we got two. We got the drum and
Yep, me too.
so.
And there's concept art for the violin, so
Oh yeah.
fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. So yeah, I think, and then like those have been great. I think the addition of pets has been great. Fishing, everybody. Oh my! I mean, they introduced a whole new trading company for fishing. So that's awesome. But I think there needs to be more songs that people can play.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you bring that up because I heard people talk about that. It's really hard to do because it asks a lot of memory on the servers because it needs to connect all those players together so they
yeah.
play the exact same chanty, and that makes it difficult to program.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. This is just what I've heard.
It might be,
But
I
you're
mean,
right. I do want more chances as well.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, they have an award-winning music guy, Robin Beanland, who's made
yes.
the soundtrack and everything in this game has been absolutely amazing. Like
Yeah.
it's just like, I mean, obviously
Really good.
he's won awards for it.
Yeah. No, he's really good.
But make him work harder. We need more shanty.
You're the best of the best, but you're still not good enough.
Yeah, come on. So.
He's working on Everwild new too, eh?
Oh,
Their
that's
new
true.
game.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, work harder, Robin Beanland.
Yeah. Let's go.
You're a lazy slop. Are you happy with these monthly contents?
Yes and no. Some I feel can be, I guess, repetitive. Just the mechanics can be repetitive. I like it when they come out with like tall tales. I like it when they expand on the lore of the game.
Mm,
And I know each monthly content does a little bit in its own respect, and some a lot in in that respect. But there are some that almost just kind of feel like fillers, just like, hey, let them redo this again, and
yeah,
again get a new reward
I do
for it,
get that.
So.
Mm,
But I think
mm,
overall I think they're doing a good job.
I think so too. I
So
think they are quite busy, and I also feel that not always things go according to schedule,
yeah,
and we get a little bit of a lackluster monthly update.
yeah,
Uh, but I still think we're still getting stuff, and it still keeps expanding. And I'm quite happy with that. And hey, let's be fair, we also have other games to play, so you don't need to play Sea of Thieves
what?
always.
What? Joe Neat told me I could only play Sea of Thieves. This is news to
All
me.
right. All right, so there's only one other thing I want to address, and after this, we go into the questions. So
Okay.
people who are listening to this on Mixer right now, type in your questions now. So after we're done with this segment, we can discuss them. Um, the thing that you emailed me about is, are they adding too many tools too quickly into the game? You want to talk about this?
Yeah, I there's a sense of me that they are. Um, I don't know. It just feels like I think maybe the blunder bomb and the chain shot should have came separately. Not not there should have been
Hmm.
a larger gap between when those were released.
I don't know. I don't. I don't really know. I like just add it when it's ready and let's go. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I know. I guess it's weird to ask. Like, should we introduce something to the game at a pace to allow the players to get accustomed to it, and then release the next thing, or should we release it when it's ready to go?
Hmm.
I don't know if they even have those discussions, but that's one thing that I don't know for me because like when they introduced Curse Cannonballs, I'm like, all right, I need to map one of my because I was playing on Xbox during that time. It's like I need to map
Hmm.
my left thing to switch cannonballs, and that's how I
Mm.
can cycle through cannonballs. Like, okay, now they introduce fire bombs, I could just add that, and now they introduce all these other things. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, what? Like when I pull up the radial when I'm on a cannon, I'm like, what do I do? you know? It's just there's just so much to do. Should I use a fire bomb? Should I use a curse? Should I use a chain shot? Should I use a regular cannonball? Should I use this? And
Mm.
maybe that just shows my game sense is less than other people. I don't know. But
No, no, that's not true at all. I think I do get what you're saying, like especially now with the new game mechanics, you're still figuring out fire bombs and oh hey, we have a blunder bomb too, and you can throw them and you can cannons and it alters the ship trajectory. Oh, and don't forget about the chain shot
yeah,
because that's another game mechanic.
yeah,
I do get a little bit. I don't care. The game in the beginning overwhelmed a lot of players too because it doesn't explain shit.
true.
They're slowly adding in more tutorial stuff, and which is nice. Like
But it's
people want
annoying.
that.
It's also annoying too when you've been playing for 2 years and you still get a thing. Go swim to your mermaid to spawn back to your ship.
It's true. Like yeah, if you see my stats, Rare, do you really think you need to explain to me
Exactly.
how
Yeah.
to fucking vote for a voyage? I completed 10,000 voyages. All right. Yeah, but oh well. Guess they don't have the interns to program all that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, maybe a bit too quickly. Maybe they should spread it out, but on the other hand, we don't know what the future content is, right?
Correct.
We
Yeah.
might have a drought of tools right now,
Yeah.
and they're only focusing on, I don't know what they're focusing on, but we'll see.
Hopefully
So
something
yeah.
cool.
But yeah, I hope so too. So let's go to our questions. This is going to be our last segment. And we don't have that many listeners on Mixers. Well, we do, but they don't ask questions. So we only have one question, which is from Landon Wrestler, and he is from my own YouTube community. He left this question on my previous podcast, and his question is, "What is your opinion? What is your opinion on Skelly Lords becoming a more common occurrence on the sea? Do you think it devalues the importance of the tall tale ones? If so, why?"
I don't think it devalues the things from the Tall Tales. I think it's probably I like it. I think it adds more variety to the game,
Yep.
and anything that keeps you engaged, I think is and that's different than I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't believe it devalues from the Tall Tales. I think the Tall Tales are standalone as
Hmm.
themselves as a good thing, and I don't think like anything added to the game. I don't think will take away the value that the Tall Tales give.
Yep. No,
So
I agree. Like there are also different skeleton lores in the Tall Tales,
mhm.
and they're separate. And this question was asked, I think, when Cruise of Rage was still in a memory, when you were fighting skeleton lords at the end of that voyage.
Yep.
But that voyage is gone now, so I think now only the other skeleton lords can be fought at forts, which
Yeah.
I think is really fine to fight a nice captain at the end, which is skeleton lord.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
but thanks for your question, Landon.
yep. And on Cruiser Rage, I didn't do any of those.
Great, really.
Yeah, I was too busy.
With editing again?
Yeah.
Ah, damn, man, you worked hard. And with that, we've come to the end of the podcast. So I would like to thank Uniball for being an awesome guest. And can you tell our listeners where they can find you?
Yeah, guys, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Uniball Gaming, or you can just search for Uniball and you can see a Sea of Thieves Pirate Skull, and that'll be me. And yeah, come check me out.
Yeah, check it out. He does awesome machinimas. And yeah, just check it out. You'll be amazed. It's really good. I myself can be found on this very channel you are listening to this podcast on. So please subscribe if you don't want to miss any future podcast. And after that, go to Uniball and subscribe to his channel as well. So if you want to listen to us live, you should follow Captain Blubber on Mixer. That's Captain Blubber without a space in between. You should be able to find me, and you should get the notification whenever we go live. And if you want, you can stay for a very short after show. But if not, that's fine too. So thanks again to my amazing guests, and I hope you, the listener, will have a great rest of your day. So stay safe, wash your hands, and take care.
Do I say bye?
What we usually do in the after show is talking about future content,
Yeah.
so stuff you have planned for. So you go ahead. I won't talk. You only have 15 minutes, so this is your show, man. What
Oh,
are you planning for your channel?
planning for my channel. So, I'm getting heavily influenced by some Rust content creators on YouTube.
Hmm.
There's some guys, they just make like amazing videos. I mean, one of the big ones was Wellen, and Wellen, he made a leap to Sea of Thieves this past fall, and Wellen has like 1 to 2 million subs, and he's a great storyteller, and he does a lot of fast cuts, but he does a lot of you know monologue over his stories, and he puts them together really really well, and he was actually on the dev stream. Like the dude like just picked up Sea of Thieves and was immediately on the dev stream. Which is crazy. And a funny thing is they were having White Knight and Wellen like within the dev stream within a couple weeks, and I know John McFarlane, he called White Knight Wellen at one point,
Hmm.
which I thought was funny. But anyways, okay, so future content for my channel, I think I want to like I don't put out a lot of videos. If anybody subscribes to me, they know that. So I'm thinking about maybe doing 1 to 2 videos a month, but make them just kind of like epic productions almost.
Mm.
And then maybe kind of do that whole storyline where maybe I talk and do a monologue, and then just do the gameplay, and then like I mean obviously I'll play and have some type of story, or some like not a story that I make up, but like just like a gameplay story. Like say you're at a fort and you get killed, and then you come back and then you kill the guys and you take over the fort, and then you win, right? I'd make a
Hmm.
video on that, but just make it very cinematic,
All right.
and kind of like
Set up or
yeah. So no, well. I would just play. I would have the gameplay, and then I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to use this for a story, and then I would
uh
go back and I would pick key points, and then I would recreate that cinematically with I would
Right.
ask other players to help me. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
I have a two I have a two system setup, so I could play obviously on my machinima. I'm filming and controlling with two different players
Mm-hmm.
and recording on two different things, and so I'm thinking about doing that. And I would have
Yeah,
like these,
you.
yeah.
I like your videos, but there's a part of me that's saying you put too much effort in your
Oh no, no, I know,
videos.
I know, I know, I know. But so the thing is, with the YouTube channel, like my whole goal was not to, like this was never going to be my living. This was just
Of
a
course.
this was just a hobby.
Yeah. Same for me.
And like I told you earlier, this keeps me out of the bar. So my whole concept with you is I just want to do things that I know I put a lot of effort and I put a lot of time into what I'm doing, but it's just kind of like a creative outlet for me. And like even if nobody watches it, I'm fine because I'm gonna watch it 50,000 times. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, you should.
So yeah, I know what I get what you're saying, but I mean, if the channel does take off and if there is like a possibility that I can make a living off of it or pull some sort of income, then maybe yeah I will. I'll have to do some time management, obviously, and then but still like my biggest thing, I always want to put out quality over quantity.
Right. That's
I
good.
noticed I noticed some YouTubers back in the day of Sea of Thieves, they just pumped out video after video after
Oh,
video
they
after
still
video.
do. I'm not gonna
I'm not going to name any
go naming
names,
names,
but
but
and
there are some YouTubers. They have a lot of subscribers, but they're very lazy with the content,
yeah,
and I don't want to be like them.
yeah,
If people watch that and you think it's fine, if you just want to listen to the guy talk and don't really pay attention to what he's showing, it's fine. But the way I see it, and it's kind of a bit hypocritical since you're listening to this podcast, but the way I see it, the visuals need to match what the guy is saying too,
Yeah.
right? So put that effort in. YouTube is the medium to do that. Um, yeah, and a lot of YouTubers just do a gameplay loop or not even their own gameplay
yeah,
and talk a story, and which is, again is fine if you like that type of content, but it's not how I would like to do it.
yeah. No, I agree. But
And that's why I appreciate your channel too, because you do put a lot of effort in that. Same as old Buccaneer as well.
yeah,
Like it's content that's, I mean, he does tutorials, really good tutorials, but not really needed for me to watch them. But I still really appreciate the effort he does in that because what he's showing is also what he's telling, and I can only
exactly.
commemorate that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then and I know on some videos he's waiting for, certain things to happen for him
Yes.
to be able to put it into one of the videos instead of, like just making the video and putting it out, So he's definitely taking his time
Yep.
and putting out.
He takes time, just like you.
Yeah.
I'm a little in between. I like to put effort in my videos, but I also want to keep my schedule of one video a week.
And
So,
have a
so there
life.
you go. And have a life. I don't have a life.
No, I originally I wanted to do one a week, but then the amount of time that I spend, like on a Sunday, I could wake up at 6 in the morning, and then by midnight, I'm publishing a video. That's that's a long time, and
Yeah.
just and I work full time too. So it's difficult for me to edit during the week. I have like
Oh, I can totally understand that.
during the machinima I was, and so that helped tremendously, but my typical schedule was like Sundays were my edit days, and I would just wake up early and I would just go at it, and then if I needed to, if I wasn't happy with the final product, then I would maybe push it to Monday or Tuesday before I would edit, make some revisions, whatever.
Yeah, and have a refresher and look at it too.
Yes, and that helps a lot, and
That
then
helps a lot as well.
catch mistakes that even though I could watch a video 10 times and there's one big blatant mistake and I'll miss it every single time. So I need to
Oh
watch
yeah.
it the 11th time.
Yeah, I've learned not to fret about it all too much because there's a lot of mistakes in all my videos actually. But I'm the only one who sees them.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
I ask my crewmates and they're like, "Oh, never noticed it at all."
Yeah. No.
And there you go. And I'm like, all right, so if that's gonna be the reactions, then I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, you
So
should be good.
if there's a big mistake, yeah, I'll re-edit it. I'm not gonna put it out. But like the smaller ones, I don't really fret about it anymore because people don't notice, and even if they do notice, they probably won't care all that much. It's
Yeah.
more in my mind.
Yeah, it's yeah, you just ourselves being
Is it
insecure
like
about the
what you
products we're
said
putting
too,
out.
right? Like some shots you did from your machine weren't all that um they were a little bit shaky, like walking shaky,
Yeah.
and you wanted some more clear lines in there. I didn't notice it at all.
Yeah.
At all. So there you go. I just enjoyed the video.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. So
So
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, I kind of want. So I want to maybe my next two videos. I want to experiment with making these kind of like these epic production type videos, that may be even longer, and just see how it goes, and just see what kind of reaction I get, and just see if the process, if it's doable for me on my end. But other than that, I
Yeah, you should
know.
take care of yourself because burnout for YouTubers is a real thing, man.
Oh, I know. Yeah, and I've seen it. So that's why, like me, I don't pay attention. Like, obviously, I want my subs to grow. Obviously, but
Mhm, of
I
course.
don't.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is like I said, it's a creative outlet. So if people sub, they
Hmm.
sub. If they don't, they don't. If they dislike, they dislike. If they like, they like.
Hmm.
So I'm not gonna. I don't want to get burnt out from like. I don't want to be pressured,
Hmm.
to put the content I
Yeah.
put out. So I'm just gonna go at my own pace. And sometimes my pace is fast, is too much. But that's just me being me. So,
Hmm.
but yeah. But anyways, there's a couple other content creators out there, that like there's one girl. Her name's Miley Stories. I don't know if you've seen her
All right.
stuff. She has like
No.
a 4 episode. It's like a TV show that she's doing, and it's
Oh,
and it's
oh.
really good.
I'll Google it right now.
M
Mighty Stories.
Miley, Miley space stories, Stories. It's a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Yeah, just watch. It's her. They're just really good. And then some other
Can't
people.
find it by the way
What's that?
because I see Mighty Stories, but what's the name of the channel?
It is Miley Stories is the name of the channel. You see it?
No, I can't find it.
Oh.
It says in YouTube, but send me the link. I'll
Okay.
have a look at
Yeah,
it.
I will.
Yeah, let's
And
continue.
then there's another one, Captain Soulbeard. He has a channel, and he got really inspired by my machinima. So he's
Oh,
he's
nice.
he's planning on doing like a 5-part thing, or however many parts he ends up doing. But then
Hmm.
he would like to incorporate maybe parts of my storyline or something like that. So I told him I'll help him out, and we'll see where that goes. I don't know. So that
All
should be
right,
cool.
I see his channel. It's nice, nice logo.
Yeah. So we'll see. So I'm gonna try out, maybe I'll try to make these epic productions, see how that goes. But then if not, if something comes to me, like music plays a big part in my content, and a lot of times the music dictates the
True.
story. And so if I
Yeah,
listen to
you told
something
me.
and I like it, that might build a story in my head. So if maybe down the road, if I hear something like a song, I'm like, oh, I could do something like this,
Yeah,
and then I'll make content on that.
you can tell when watching your videos. The music is a big element of it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. If you ever need help, I'm always happy to help you.
Yeah, yeah, and thanks. Now I have 3 new friends when I got to play with you the other day. I'm like, all right, I got three new slaves for my new videos.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. This is how I see them too. All right.
Awesome.
Cool. Anything else you want to add for the after show?
No, I just thanks everybody for listening, and hopefully you got some good input in the game and everything from us on the podcast, and yeah, and subscribe to Captain Blubber and Uniball.
All right. I totally agree with that. All right. Thanks everybody for watching, and take care, everybody.